Hello, YouTube world. My name is Anthony Long. Welcome back to the Bluegrass Picker channel. Someone came back, Cora. There was like 3 people in here last time. Maybe more. If the sun refused to shine, I would still be loving you. Mountains crumble to the sea, baby. There would still be you and me. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, Mike. Good call. God, I love that song. It's one of those when I start playing it, I'm like, I can't believe I'm playing. Thank you. Jimmy Page. Hey, Dave. What up? Thanks for joining. I'm just going to show you some of the spoils of my garage sale. I went live earlier, but I only went live for like 20 minutes. I had to do it real fast, and it was right before the West Side's auction, and I knew everybody would be over there, so I just ended it real quick. I never promote my live, so people just kind of have to happen across it. So if I don't go on very long, people won't see me on, kind of deal. But did you find anything good today, Dave? Did you go garage sailing? We had some community garage sales around here finally, and that was awesome. Whit Merrifield, home run. Oh, he just missed it. I got some good stuff I'll show here in a minute when I get some more people in here. But yeah, it was fun to actually go garage sailing because I've been checking yard sale treasure map every week, and most of the time it's just like we got a pretty big town here. I mean, 150,000 people, but it's spread out. And so if there's like 15 garage sales in the entire town and only 4 of them are good, I'm just like, I'd almost rather go to Goodwill because at least there'll be like 2 things I can pick up. If I go to like 4 or 5 garage sales, spend 2 hours running around, it's not worth my time. But a community garage sale, I was just walking from place to place. There was like 25 within, half a mile of each other at least. Oh, it was pouring rain there. I got plenty in my piles. That's what's good about having a flea market booth is it's easy to get rid of my piles real fast. I should check I'll do that right now. Every night at 7, well, sometimes on Saturday they don't put it out as quick because they get so much more sales, but my antique booth and my flea market booth send me an email on what sold. I'll check it real quick. I'm sharing this to Facebook real quick. Boom. Only reason I'm on Facebook is to just show some of my friends, some of my family might come in. And Cora. Hey. Shh. Barking at flies. Ceramic scarecrow lamp. Pewter belt buckles. Cool. Yeah, Caterpillar. Some of those names just sell. Waiting for a few more people to get in here before I start showing everything. Cora. Easy, babe. She's literally growling at fly. She's so young, she hasn't seen a lot of flies, I think. You got stop, Cora. Please. You have 2 booths also, both selling decent. About to redo the antique booth. Cool. Yeah, I should probably. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of stuff I have in my antique booth that I've had in there for a while. I'm just running sales. Cora, stop. Please. That or she's barking at ghosts. I don't know. I swear, there was one night, in the middle of the night, she just started growling in my room and it's like, what do you see? It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, that kind of freaked me out. We got Bass Pro here in town, so you can get a lot of Bass Pro stuff for here, but they've branched out so well and so much that you can get Bass Pro stuff anywhere anymore. Hey, Harry. Yeah, good. You're in here. I can show some of my stuff now. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I got a John Deere thing tonight. It was pretty cool today. Yeah, grab up Philly. He's got some good stuff. He's got good sales. He knows what he's doing on eBay, man. It's good to watch what everybody else is selling because then when you see it at the garage sale, you're like, oh yeah, he sold it. It used to be you just knew what you sold and it was a lot harder. Now you know. I learned, I learned a lot from Harry on because he's being a collector, he knows what to buy, and now he's turned that around. He's really good at selling. Yeah, weird. Yeah, weird is unique. I am weird. I like weird. Myra, thanks for joining. Tracy, right on. All right, I'll start showing some of this stuff. This first lot was I just started putting stuff in a pile off the side. He had such good prices. That's why I just kind of pile it up and then see if he wants to give me more of a deal. Almost everything was way cheaper than I wanted to pay. I would have paid more. But this was a Craftsman old toolbox, and he had $3 on it. But what I liked about it was it's got John Deere on there, and it's got the straight leg. Straight leg's the vintage leg. The Chinese version has that bent front leg there. Just so you know, if you see the bent, they do kind of put it out now a little bit more on some of the very new stuff, I think, on that reason. We had $3 on this. I'm like, yeah, there's some tools in there too. But that's one of those crosses. It's kind of like Tim from over the years, always talking about. You got Craftsman, vintage, metal, tool, anything tool sells in my flea market no matter what. And then John Deere too. So it hits different people. And of course, I'll put this in my booth instead of on eBay because of the size and weight. And he had this for $5, which I wouldn't have done, but he said there's an autograph back there. And he said, he goes, yeah, I think it's real. I don't think it's real. I checked it on eBay. These go for about $10. But it's like 2 VHS and it's got a card there. So it's still sealed. And so that's why I kind of lumped it together to see if I usually do that. Like the stuff I kind of keep, and then that one thing I can sell on eBay that pays for the whole lot kind of thing. But it turns out it wasn't that great, but he cut a deal on this anyway. And all these, I thought this was a Lego video game, but this is just some Lego. I don't even know. But it'll sell my booth. Bourne Ultimatum, the Jason Bourne collection. It's got 3 different films in there. The Expendables, Super Troopers. I'll probably keep that one. White Castle. This one was still sealed. It was a Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Peyton Manning quarterbacks. So I can put that on eBay. Scrooged, I'm going to keep. And then he had Call of Duty Black Ops on the PC. I've never seen that one before on the PC. Rock Band 2 and AC/DC Wii. And then this red Coleman cooler, and the latch works good, doesn't stink at all, and it's just cool. It is just really cool. It's got the big metal handles. And the last piece in that lot was, and this was all $15 for all that stuff so far. And this was like a knapsack, and it's got Green Day on there, which I thought was kind of cool. 50 cents. It's like, yeah, sure. Even if people didn't know it was Green Day, I could sell my flea market booth for more money. So I put it all together, and he said, how's $15 sound? I was like, great. I thought that was a good one. Which one did you have? To the sea, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coleman stuff goes fast. Went to another garage sale, and she was kind of funny. She had these for 50 cents. Kenny Rogers greatest hits. I could put these in my booth. I think I already have this one actually. Barry Manilow and Barry Manilow live. They were 50 cents. It's kind of hard not to. I'm not a huge Barry Manilow fan, but he's a good writer to a lot of people. So there's people that really like Barry Manilow. And she had 2 movies. She said $1 a piece. Talladega Nights. I already have it, but it's sealed, so I can sell that one on eBay. And Total Recall sealed. That was a pretty good deal. $350 or whatever I paid. Yeah, $350. Craftsman Toolbox. Yeah, isn't that cool? I mean, and it's kind of like that too. I was like, I kind of want to keep it because it was so cheap, and I figured he took off like $5 or $10 off his really cheap prices already. That Coleman cooler probably works better than some of the newer ones still. How much on the Green Bay? I don't know. I might be putting an auction here pretty soon. You didn't know Harry had a YouTube channel? What? I'm lost. No. And then the best lot. Well, I'll show this one real quick. And I went to another one that was just outside of the community garage sale. And they had these N64 games. I was like, how much for the N64? Because he didn't have a price on. And he's like, both of them for $5. I'm like, 2 for $5? All right. And I was like, I don't know. I go, how much just for this one? Because I noticed it was Kobe Bryant NBA courtside. And he's like $3. I'm like, well, I need a testing one for my N64 anyway. This one probably doesn't sell that great, but that way I'll have it. Make sure if I get an N64, I can test it. And the NBA courtside Kobe Bryant, that should sell pretty good, just because people collect those games. Not even if it's good, but Kobe Bryant, you know how that's been going. Absolutely. Thanks for joining, Tracy. I appreciate it. And then the last lot, I thought, being a sports card guy, it was pretty killer. I tried not to be I wanted to jump out of my skin and start doing little cheerleading dances when I saw the prices and realized I just got there early. It was like 8 o'clock. And if I guarantee 20 minutes later, since it was a community garage sale, there's people walking all over the place half an hour later. So what he had was Michael Jordan cards. And he didn't just have a couple of them. He had a lot of them. And they've all been stored in hard cases. And they all look gradable. And I'm probably going to grade them all. It's kind of crazy. I'll show some of them here. They're all like 92 to 95. So it's like his 6th year. But now they're worth so much money. I actually have this one. But he has 17 of these Jordan cards. And nothing's super special, but pretty darn good. And then I can't remember. I have to look at my video. He had like $1 a piece or something, and one of the Jordans was like, he's like, that one goes for 40. I've seen it on eBay, and I didn't care what he said because I'm going to grade him. It's going to be worth a lot more than 40. And I think he had like $10. I have to look, and $10 for it. And then he had the Shaquille O'Neal. He had like 3 or 4 Shaquille O'Neal rookies in here, and you know he's. People collect Shaquille O'Neal, and these are all Orlando Magic before he got to the Lakers. And so those things there. Then he had an Anthony Hardaway card, which isn't worth anything, even though I liked him a lot, but he didn't fare very well. We had these historical cards. I've never even heard of these. 1938 Gum, Horrors of War. And it's like pictures of battles and stuff like that. And it tells about sinking ships and stuff. It's very strange. They're bubblegum cards. And these are like 1955, showing like railroads, different railroads. I don't know. Found it interesting. And so I just kind of threw it all in since he had all this other stuff. And he had some Pokemon. I don't even know. I didn't even care about those. I've got so many Pokemon. And the one thing I was even more than the Jordan, I saw these. He had them in a display case like this, and they were kind of pushed in. It's kind of neat little like paper because it like has these old postcards, and that's why you sell postcards. It's kind of that crafty look to it. But they had 1949 Bowman cards in here. 1949. That's Bobby Thompson. And that's the guy that shot around the world. He hit that home run against the Yankees. So he and his son played for a long time too. But 1949, and they're beat up, but almost all of them were. No one ever thought they were going to be collectibles, back then. They kept them because they just liked the player or whatever. And there's just some more of them. St. Louis Browns, some of these guys I've never really heard of. Yankees, Braves. This guy was pretty good. Vic Rashi, 1949. And he had $5 on that. But all that stuff together, I think that was it. Yeah. And he said $25. I was like, I don't know. I was trying to think of a way to get something else. And then after I said I don't know, and I was thinking about it, he goes, how about 20? I'm like, okay. Because I know one Jordan one of those 17 is going to be worth way more than $20. It's like, yes. I didn't want to do jumping jacks and do high kicks as a cheerleader, but I wanted to. It's rare that you find sports cards at garage sales. I mean, and if you do, it's like crap. They want you to buy 1987 tops, and they're all rounded and look like crap. This guy actually had a collection. It's kind of crazy. 17. But anyway, that's my spoils. I think that was it. Spoils of war. I spent 20, 39, 38.50 for all that stuff. I'd like to see a high kick, me too. I'd probably break something. Tobacco? No, they're actually bubble gum. It says 1949, Bowman. Well, it says Bowman Gum Incorporated, but also says not valid where contrary to state laws. Not valid. That's interesting. What the hell does that mean? Maybe it was tobacco. Huh. That's I mean just to keep them, it's worth $5 just because I've never seen this. I've collected cards a long time. I've never seen 1949 Bowman. I have a babe. Where'd I have a Hank Aaron. Where did I put? I'm going to find that. It's folded in 4 ways. I bought it just because it's just so cool. If it wasn't folded in 4, it would have been worth a ton of money. But hey, Dr. Tornado, thanks for joining, man. I could try a high kick. I might be out for the night. Don't wear booty shorts. Yeah, it looks like a rat chewed off the corner. Yeah. But honestly, like I said, you're just not going to find those. What? I must have missed something here. I mean, not bad for being 1949. I mean, good Lord. Just the Jordan cards alone, $20. I thought he was going to say 50 or something. I would have done 50. He said 25. I was like, okay. He's about my age, maybe a little bit younger than me. Anyway, it's a good deal, especially just because of the grading. I mean, getting these raw, and if you look at them, I've already looked at them. The corners are all great. He must have got them out of a pack and put them right into the. Yeah, he must have just put them right straight in. And these are a lot of them are centered already. And this is the one I think he was talking about was worth $40. Who knows? There's a bunch of cool ones. Because back then they didn't have a lot of these shiny ones. And he's got a lot of the shiny 1993. That's not bad. USA basketball, showing him as a rookie. It's not a rookie card, of course, but it's just like a throwback rookie. It's 1992. Golly, I can't. Even had this. I'd never seen this one, but he had like a bigger card. I've seen that in Bowman baseball, but I've never seen that in basketball. NBA Jam session. It's Fleer. It'd been great if you had the 86 Fleer in here. It's only worth about $2,000 ungraded. I'm waiting for that day. I remember as a kid, there was someone that traded Michael Jordan rookie for some was it Walter Payton? I think a Walter Payton rookie back, because the guy he liked football more. And even back then, we were like, God, you're stupid. I can't believe you did that. And now it's like, oh my God, what? Holy crap. I'm glad I never got. I gave away a bunch of football one time because I like baseball so much, and that one bit me because it was 1986. And 86, I remember right, it was Jerry Rice's rookie year and someone else's rookie year. and I gave my buddy all of those just for his baseball. And if you know about baseball cards, 86, it's about the worst. Well, 87's worse, but 86 was the downturn of baseball cards, actually, because they just mass produced them. I think 87 they had, was it 3 million copies of every card? It's like, and that's when they realized they flooded the market, and they that's when they started numbering cards in inserts, and that was genius. And putting autographs in instead of, they used to own, like way back in the day, they'd put like a chance of an autograph. They probably had 3 of them in 3 million, and so you never even heard of anybody getting that autograph. Oh yeah, I'm gonna grade them all. Almost, they all look gradable. I mean, I'm gonna check the surfaces and stuff, because that's the thing. That surface can be pretty scratched up. That's why if you just throw them in a box and don't put a sleeve around them, really screwing yourself. Because I have to check them just to see if I have fingerprints on them, get that fingerprint off, because your fingerprint, you're going to make it a 9 right from the get-go, and it may have perfect corners and perfect centering. So you got to really watch that, and I need to do a video about that itself. Yeah, thanks for joining, Harry. I missed the lives in the morning. I liked it. I missed a lot of Josh so much. It must be really hard on him right now with everything going on, or maybe he's probably pissed at himself for getting out of the Army and stuff and having, I don't know. I miss his videos and his lives. Great interviewer too. The 90s, early 90s blue. Yeah, that too. Until Jeter's rookie. But then most people didn't understand that Jeter's rookie was like 93, was worth anything for a long time. And honestly, when most people don't know this, when sports cards started picking up again, it was Steven Strasburg when he got drafted. I think it was around 2000. It got people back in for some reason. What's funny is he's a pitcher, so he's not really worth any money. But it got people excited about it again because he was so dominant. And so you just saw him being like, because he threw 100, his curveball was so nasty, and we went to the Nationals, so I think a lot of people had a lot of hope for him on the East Coast, and so the East Coast started buying him up, and it kind of made the market take off again, which is great. But it was really when they started numbering cards and putting autographs, and they put a certain amount of autographs in each box too, so you're guaranteed an autograph in the box. It may not be a good one, but at least you knew there was one in there. And they've continued to do that over the years, and that's saving them. I went to Walmart the other day. It's crazy. I can't believe, like, every once in a while I'll buy a blaster pack just for the heck of it. Like, I bought a blaster. I don't like getting blaster packs because blaster boxes is their names, and because most of the time they don't have the good autographs in there. It's only mediocre ones, and the chances are so unlikely, and so you want to get the hobby boxes. But every once in a while when I'm in there for $20, and I bought the only time I've really seen anything was they had collegiate draft picks, and I think someone came by and they hit it back by, because I was just kind of looking, I went very back. Someone had hit it back there, like wanting to come back. They must not have had enough money, so I grabbed a couple. I think I grabbed 2 of them, and I got a Joe Burrow prism and a Tua prism. So I got 2 really good cards in a $20 box, and I already sold the Burrow prism for $65. And it could probably have been graded, but I didn't want that. I don't care about that one. I mean, he's going to be a good quarterback, but probably ain't going to matter that much. And so, every once in a while it is good to get a blaster pack, but I think you got to sell that stuff pretty quick. I'd rather get the chance at autos. I got that $2,000 autograph with Patrick Mahomes. That was a lot of fun. Hey, Mr. Bislot. I was just showing them. You'll appreciate this. I was at a garage sale today, I got a bunch of Shaq rookies. These 1949 Bowman. One of them is Bobby Thompson, if you know who Bobby Thompson is, I'm sure. And then I got 17 Jordans, all like 90 to 93. So they're not, wouldn't be the golden age. It'd be the so it's like 4 or 5 years after his rookie, and I got all that for $20, and so that was a good day because I'm gonna grade most of those. I liked watching your video on the cards. That was fun. I had a lot of that stuff. Some of those, KB packs and like toys, Toys R Us special thing. I have a lot of that kind of stuff. Those things aren't really worth that much, honestly. And I don't know why. I always figured when I was a kid, I thought they'd be worth a ton. Even the like 87 Tops traded, a lot of that stuff doesn't go for much money. People want like Bowman. They want the best. They want the best version they can. And so, but that one box you have, that complete set with, was it Kobe Bryant and a Derek Jeter? That was cool. I know it's that Kobe Bryant. That's awesome. Thanks for joining. I was just showing some of the spoils of war, playing a little guitar. Tommy's the only one who knows that one. I was hoping to do that switch with Dana, but they freaking shut that down already to figure out how to do that. She's got such a good voice. Oof. She's got a great speaking voice. She runs. I like that. I think she was actually running it right now. She has that chat going. That games. That game's fun. Oh yeah, that's right, Harry. You said he had a Hot Wheel by Mr. Buys a Lot. That's cool. How are you going to do that one? 2000 SPE football box. Cool. You sold the collection yesterday? Oh, wow. Cool. You're smart. That's what's, if you got money, it's so much easier just to turn and burn. You don't spend the money, the time, the hours. I mean, I may have kept I don't know. It's just not a bad idea just to get rid of it and go, and then have more money for that next thing. I realized that from Commonwealth Picker. I mean, I knew I wanted to sell it fast, but really to focus on what is going to sell the fastest, because you get that money back and go again. Get that money back and go again. Nice. Yeah, no kidding, Tommy. True that. Well, I'm so busy. I just can't imagine. I don't know how you do it, Brian. Having all those auctions and stuff and trying to get everything done, even with employees. Anybody that has employees knows that you're just watching over the employees. So you're going to spend a quarter more of your time watching over them, making sure everything's okay with them. How's your day going? You doing okay at home? And I mean, I've had an employee and it's not easy. It makes me realize I must have been a shitty employee myself, and I mean, like when I was in a restaurant, you'd always criticize the managers and this and that, but you get on the outside, you're like, oh man, they were putting up so much above them, so much below them. It was probably just, everybody always asks me, why don't you a manager? I'm like, because I work for them. They're all the same. And it's because of the environment. It's not because who they are. It's because that job's just freaking hard. You're getting bombarded from every direction, solving problems all day. And basically, you're kissing ass all day to smooth everything over. So you just kiss ass, kiss ass, kiss ass to everybody. Ugh. No, I miss bartending though. That was fun. They were '90s mainly and some 2000s, but he had some good ones. But I think he was smart just to do it and sell it. Yeah, it's just fun to test out different markets too. I just like this, like the hats. I sold a Snap-on hat today that basically played for a whole lot of seven, and it was the worst one of them all. One of them in there is so cool. I guarantee it's gonna go for big money. Hey, I got it for $40 right now. Um, it's just fun to play with. And I know since fall's coming around, I guarantee those hats start selling a little bit more. Um, Snap-on. It's man, over the years, he made me really think about that because it crosses different collectors. It's Snap-on tools, Snap-on. It said Snap-on Racing, so it's a racing Snap-on, and it was vintage from the '90s, and it had like this great colors on a black hat. So it kind of hits different things, and that's what I now when I look for stuff, I'm like, yeah, it crosses kind of like that Craftsman toolbox. It's a great toolbox, so someone's going to buy it because it's a good toolbox. It says Craftsman, it's vintage, and it's got John Deere, two huge John Deere logos, and it's the vintage John Deere logo. It can't help but get sold. It makes it hit different people, and this community has been wonderful. What I've accomplished now, it would have taken 10 years to understand by myself through trial and error. It's great to see everybody else's trial and error to help me with mine so I don't make mistakes. And that's why it's not like, that's what I realized about a year ago. I'm like, oh, the community helps you from not making those bad mistakes because they've made them and they tell you about them. And that's why you love to hear Common Picker. He tells the mistakes. Cincinnati Picker, he tells the mistakes. Part-time Picker tells the mistakes. Harry Tornado, he tells his mistakes. And so you trust them, and then it helps you not make that same one. And who knows how many times. But then there's those dumbass moves like I did. I told myself a million times, don't put Velcro, don't put Velcro. I put Velcro one day. I'm like, why did I do that? I know not to do that. So stupid. Yeah. I bet Mr. Bicelot opens up totes and is like, oh, that's a lot of gold. Well, you probably should put that on eBay. When you buy that much, you just can't. I do that. It's kind of crazy. You travel a lot. People call. That's what's weird is people call you and says, "I got this stuff." It'd be hard to turn it down because, yeah, yeah. Harry, he made that video. It's a good video. Go check it out. I want to go to the flea market. That's funny. Yeah, I've never messed with remotes. I always hear they go great. I'm sure that's the thing the dogs chew up, thing that falls and breaks. That's why Wii remotes go so good. It's like someone's Philly Picker. Joe was asking the other day on what to do with the console. He had two nunchucks, two Wii remotes, one game, and a console. And he's like, how would you guys sell it? I'm like, well, that's easy for me to say. I would just say sell one of the remotes and nunchuck separate, get $25 for that. Well, that's probably free ship, $20 plus shipping, and then sell the console with the game, unless that game's worth more. That game's worth 10 or $12. I'd sell that too separately and then sell the console for 50, probably 57 right now for that white console, complete. That's how I do it. And then, if you paid $30 for it, dang, you made some good money. Hey, thanks for joining. I enjoy your little shows, and I like the people in your group. Thanks for joining for a minute. Flea market. Is your flea market outside? Kind of like a swap meet. We call them swap meets here. I have a flea market, indoor flea market booth. Man, I freaking love that thing. I'm gonna check to see if I get an email yet. Like I go and buy. I'll show you this. This is one of those little secrets I know that I've used quite a few times, and I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you guys have heard of Alibaba, but I go on AliExpress. It's an app, and you order basically in Alibaba, and like these Pokemon. It's how many? 32 booster packs in here for $15. So I'm getting them for 50 cents a piece, booster packs. And I lot them up 3 for $10. So I'm killing Walmart because Walmart sells them for like $4 to $5 a piece. And I'm selling them for 3 for $10. And I'm still making a ton of money on them. I've got like 5 boxes of these. I don't know. I haven't sold them on eBay, but they sell so fast in my booths. Doesn't bother me. But if anybody, and you'd be surprised about like I'll buy like these sports jewelry off of eBay, like little pendants, because they're so freaking. Off of AliExpress. They're so freaking cheap, and they're not really great made, but they sell. And I'll lot them up like 3, and these were like 15 cents a piece. So I mean, I don't know. I've sold some of those. I've sold through a lot of that kind of stuff and made pretty good money on it. Kind of, just kind of helps pay the bills. And everybody wants, you need activity anyway. It helps just to sell something, even if it's $6. And since I'm already doing it, it's not a big a deal. I mean, Cincinnati Picker taught me that. He's still selling $5 items, and he lists it for $5 just because he has it and he can, and he knows he can ship it and easily. And he's always he's out there to ship. It's easy to ship. Yeah, easy to ship. And so I can lot them up, get someone 3 or 4, make it like a reseller lot, and I've got 15 of the dang things. And it's Yankees, whatever. Someone wears that little Yankees for a necklace. And actually, someone sent me a thing the other day and was like, how much would you charge if I got 3 of them? I have them listed for like $6.95 a piece. I can't remember how much I paid, but it was almost next to nothing. And but yeah, everybody should check out AliExpress, and especially if you have antique booths, flea market booths. Yep. I mean, Pokemon, those booster packs. There's 10 in each pack. It's freaking awesome. I sold three packs yesterday. I sell probably 10 a week. It almost pays my rent and my booths, just the Pokemon. And I'm gonna start selling big bulk Pokemon that's loose already too. I'm gonna start selling those in my booths. I think they're gonna go well. Magic cards go fast. People want Magic still more than Pokemon might be hot, but Magic is kind of still reigning king. Hey, what's up? How you doing, John? Adam, what's up? Oh, I need to send you my info on what I got here. I apologize. It was a couple of days ago. I got your package too. Freaking media mail. You see what they did, Adam? They opened up your media mail to check what was in it, and then they didn't retape it. Oh yeah, this was also in that $20. He had a Matt Holiday picture and at Bush, which is really cool. 50 cents. I'll be able to sell that in my booth because St. Louis is so big here for probably at least $5, not 10. And then a Bryce Harper. I forgot that was part of the lot too. But they sent this, came in here, and it was all undone. I undid this part, but it was like this when I got it. It would come up like this. They'd opened it and just left it. Freaking a-holes. They're gonna open it and they should reclose it, right? Anyway. But thanks for that. I got that Led Zeppelin 2. One of my favorite albums of all time. I think you gave me for $2 or $3 because it was kind of messed up. And I know you're not a huge Zeppelin fan, but you sell Pokemon? Do you sell them in on eBay? Why have you been going live, Adam? I haven't seen you live in a while. Maybe I just missed you when I was running or something, working. You got records today? I got some terrible records today, Adam. Barry Manilow live. It was 50 cents a double, and it's got the shrink on it. Another Barry Manilow, 50 cents. And that'll go in my booth because it'll sell 50 cents. I got this at Goodwill the other day. I just love cool jazz like that, and I can't wait to listen to it. It's like from the 50s. I'm just interested to hear the sound from that era kind of deal. It wasn't Miles Davis. My favorites. I love Miles Davis and Coltrane. Oh my gosh. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. That's one of my favorites of all time. That I don't know. I guess it's because it depends on what I'm doing. But like if I'm playing pool, I'm really good at pool, and I miss pool. The pool hall that I went to here closed down because of the shutdown, and it's never gonna reopen again. It was the only good pool hall we had that had just really good tables, and but you listen to Kind of Blue while you're playing. It's perfect rhythm for pool. It made me play better, I swear. Go Cardinals. Their team's they're good right now. Cubbies look pretty good right now, but it's going to be one of those years where they can get in. I always root for the Cardinals, but I'm a Royals fan first. And it's usually not much cheering as a Royals fan. I went to the 2014 World Series. I was at Game 7 when Madison effing Bumgarner came in the 4th inning. I'll never forget that. I'm sitting there cheering. We're doing okay. We're in the game. And then 4th inning, I look out. I'm like, is that Bumgarner in the dugout or in the bush? Is that Bumgarner in the bullpen? Are they bringing Bumgarner in the middle of the game? My buddy's like, no, they're not going to bring Bumgarner. He just pitched like 2 days ago. I'm like, that's freaking Bumgarner. And all of a sudden they brought him in. I'm like, oh my God. And at the very beginning, we started hitting him. I think we got first and third. I think we had first and third, 1 out or no outs. And a guy hit a screamer, and Joe Panic made one of the best plays I've seen in the World Series. Made a backhanded play, flipped it to the shortstop, got a double play, and limited it. We almost had Bumgarner too, and then he settled down and just cleaned our pants out. But it was still cool to be at Game 7, and then we won the next year, so it didn't matter. But man, what a game! And what's crazy is they were the best seats I've ever had at a Royals game, and I've been to so many of them. There was only 3 people in my row, and one of them was my buddy. And it was cool to go to a game that everybody's in the same mood of like, they're all here going, I can't believe I'm here. Am I here? Is this happening? That's kind of how we were the whole time. I mean, and because my buddy bought the tickets, before the first game. And so you buy Game 7, but you don't know if you're going to get to Game 7. And so you just watch the series, and all of a sudden it gets to Game 6, and you're like, dude, if we win Game 6, we're going to freaking World Series. So you kind of put it in the back of your mind. And he paid $300 a piece for the tickets, but that was just the rate the Royals sold them for. And we could have sold them for $1,500, probably more because of our row. But we wanted to go so bad, we didn't. We went. But it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm glad I went. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for joining. Yeah, freaking USPS, right? What do you do? I think that's probably what they're doing. They're checking media mail, thinking everybody's slide one over on which I've had. Like I've bought some stuff from Mercari. They put as media mail. I'm like, what? It was a Wii console. They put media mail. It was like $5 shipping. I'm like, well, that's pretty ballsy. And I understand why they do check it sometimes. Like, I mean, the worst one I ever had on eBay. I got a vintage trucker hat. It was cool. It had scrambled eggs. It was NASA or something. They put it in a Fruity Pebbles box. Just smashed it into a Fruity Pebbles box, but put a real nice thank you note on it. I'm like, what? A cereal box? And it's not meant to be smashed in there. Good God, people. But the thank you note was really sweet. I'm glad she took a lot of time for that. I guess that's her way of overdoing one part of it to make you not want to. Yeah, Mercari really is kind of like a garage sale sometimes. Yeah, on your phones, it starts blinking for some reason. YouTube's been really weird because of StreamYard and something about StreamYard to YouTube. So I'm sorry. Um, oh, well, and that's what I've been all the lives I've been on with my phone. But if you go on your computer, it doesn't seem to be as bad. I don't know why, because it's supposed should be working better on the phone because YouTube is made for the phone. But yeah, yeah. UFO activity. Yeah, they're coming for me. I need to go home, back to my planet. Nanu, Nanu. What is he? How did he do it? What did Mork do? I can't even remember. It was something. He did something. Nanu, Nanu. I always loved Mork and Mindy. I had a Mork and Mindy shirt. Wish I still had. I had a lot of cool shirts like that. I remember my mom washing them once back when I was like in high school, and I remember thinking it was cool. I wonder if she kept them. Mork, Colin Orson, yeah. And then Third Rock from the Sun kind of stole the whole Mork and Mindy thing, and but hey, it was funny. Third Rock from the Sun didn't get much credit. That shit was funny because it was really cool because it was like looking at it from the side of aliens, and they were always like trying to figure out humans, and it was so funny because they were always right. It was like because humans are so dumb about some things, and it's like trying to figure us out. I found out just hilarious, and he would do that same thing, the big head, and he would be like the transmission from the person that put him there or whatever. Yeah, Third Rock was great actors. So good acting in that. Yeah, I mean, even that woman, she was like a man and she got thrown in the woman's body, and it was just funny because she was played that part perfect. She really seemed dominant, manly, even though she was hot. Strange. Mike, do you put out videos? I think you said something earlier. You don't put out videos. I've got you on my list, so I'm guessing you. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to you, so I'm guessing since you haven't seen anything, but YouTube makes you unsubscribe sometimes, turns the notifications off, and I don't even notice. Harry's probably about 6 or 7 beers in now. He's around the fire even. I miss drinking sometimes. That was fun. I just can't. I can't get crap done in the morning anymore when I do it. I miss wine. I loved wine so much. Big beer drinker for a long time, but then the wine, went to some wineries when I'm on the East Coast. And I got to Virginia, went to Williamsburg, been to Italy and Greece. You try good wines, and it's like a good cigar or something. You get it. You become a connoisseur of something that's bad because then you know what to appreciate, and then Yeah. Yeah, blinking's on the StreamYard. Yeah, I think so. It's just trying to go from StreamYard to YouTube. And some people don't stream on StreamYard, and that's probably why. The ones you saw that weren't blinking, they were probably just on YouTube. I'm sure it's YouTube trying to F with them, but I don't know why they would, because they work in combination. It's kind of like when you post something on Facebook, on YouTube, a lot of people won't see it on Facebook because Facebook's not going to promote it. They're not going to put it in front of people because they don't want you to leave their website. They don't want you to go to YouTube and never come back, because they know that's like anything, that once you're there, they're going to try to keep you there. And that's why they do all these weird algorithms to get you to not ever leave. So they're not going to promote you leaving. It makes sense. But I still put it up there. I put it in my news feed. That way, or my stories. That way, I'm not pushing on people who don't want to see it, and then they can't help but see it in a way instead. So that's how I fight YouTube on that one, because I can't blame them. If I was owner of YouTube or Facebook, I would probably do the same thing. But I don't know. You think they'd help each other some, but whatever. Harry wasn't blinking. Yeah, he was on StreamYard, so maybe it's just me. I apologize. Never have, yeah. Right on. I love the East Coast. Every time I've been out there, I love the food. I love blue crab. Oh, I miss blue crab. Like here, the only crab you can get is snow crab. I can't even eat that crab. It's like I've never really liked it. Blue crab though, oh, it's so good. It's like elk meat compared to beef. Elk meat is just so much better. If anybody hasn't had elk meat, oh, if you like beef, try elk if you go somewhere and they have it. It's just wonderful. It's like a mix between deer and beef. It's less gamey, but still more beefy tasting. I don't know if that makes any sense. The elk is, my buddy had an elk farm. He lived on an elk farm. His dad had one, and we'd make elk burgers and drink beer, and oh man. But I've had elk steaks, and I don't know, lamb chops are very similar in how good it is if you find good ones and it's prepared right. But Royals might win. This might be the 5th game in a row they win. Sheesh. I don't think they've done that in about 3 or 4 years. Well, thanks for everybody for joining. I'll probably stay on for a little bit longer, just have nothing else to do. I should bring someone in. Dave Matthews Band. Number 41. Because it's the 41st song I wrote. I love Dave Matthews. I was watching a 1995 live in Germany of him yesterday. They sound so good, the same as they would. Actually, Dave's voice sounds better. You kind of realize over time it gets beat up. His voice sounded so good in 95. And they look so freaking young. And Boyd was like, he didn't have any muscles. It was kind of funny. He must have just started getting ripped all the time. I remember back when I first moved to Springfield in 98. And I knew a guy I was friends with, and he was the liaison of the local place where people played venues. And Dave Matthews came here when he first started coming up. He'd go to these small towns, and he was talking about how when they came in town, that right when they landed, Boyd was like, "Give me some pot," and so he had to take him to go find Bud, and he said that Dave Matthews smoked, but he didn't really care, and he just wanted to drink whiskey, and that's pretty much how he is now. But Boyd was like, "Get me somewhere now," because that's back, when you wouldn't carry it on the plane or anything. But it was in Germany. Yeah, it was. God, it was a good concert. Those people will probably look back on like, dude, that was so good. It starts off with Seek Up, just killing it. And Leroy Moore is just wailing. I mean, they sound so tight. I was expecting them to be a little loose and that they've gotten better over time. He was killing it right then. It was awesome. But it's just kind of cool to hear a story about these guys and little inside information. And they're a fun band. It's too bad. I don't know what Boyd did. I think it was some young kid. I don't know what the hell. But can't do that shit, dumbass. Yeah, that's what I heard too. I went to one concert. I was in the second row. Well, no, they said it was the second row, but it ended up being like the fourth because they always put like some super VIP in the very front or something. They must at the very end just sell really. I don't know what they do, but anyway, it was it was kind of, it sucks because it was in an indoor. It just wasn't that much fun. They don't like playing indoor stadiums. I wouldn't either. And they took their break before they came back for the encore, and since I was so close, people were throwing joints up there. Like, I don't know. There was a bunch of them get thrown up there, and he went and he's like, Dave put his guitar away, and went up to the front. And he's like, picked up like 3 or 4 of them. He's like, thanks. And then he went backstage and came back about 25 minutes later. I think we sat there for like 25 minutes going, encore, encore. I don't think we stopped. Yeah, me too. Before You Crowded Streets you don't get much better than that. I agree. I was gonna say that when you didn't, before you said that. You just can't really beat that. I mean, and then the rest of the band, and what it really was it went away from Dave. Dave took less control over the band. He kind of felt guilty for being the Dave Matthews Band. He felt guilty that it was his writing and it was his style. And so they wanted to incorporate more of what Carter wanted to do and Boyd and Stephane Lassard. And so that's when it started changing. And I remember going to those concerts and people would boo the new songs because you have to, your record company is going to make you I'm sure, make you play at least 2 songs from the new album. And most of the time we were like, play the old stuff, I'm sure it got annoying to him, but, you're playing for the fans too. They're paying the money. A couple of those albums weren't, get like 1 or 2 songs on there were okay. And the only reason they were okay is because it sounded like the old stuff. Oh, are you live? Crap. Well, no wonder no one's in here. It's not just how bad I am at talking. Yeah, I can't really disagree. Song that Jane likes, I think he really loves that one too because of why it is. But I agree. Seek Up and 41, they both, it seems like those are the songs. I went to the Gorge in Oregon. Or is it Washington State? It's right on the Columbia River, so I guess it'd be Washington. Yeah, Washington. It's got to be the best venue behind Red Rocks. I've been to Red Rocks, but I've seen all the pictures. Probably can't beat Red Rocks, but the Gorge has got to be second. And it was in 2000, so they were playing all the old good stuff. And they played 41, and if I remember right, because I have the live, we burned the live off. They stopped in the middle and played 41 minutes of a just solo instrumental where each one took 5 minutes. Another one took 5 minutes. The other one took 5 minutes. They went back around and just jammed for 40 minutes in the middle of the song. It was, I think that's probably why I like 41 so much, is that show. It was just like, it's just crazy. Is Well, I'm so glad we did that. Now it's back before cell phones. We tandemly went with another car all the way out to Washington State and back. You talk about a freaking nightmare in a way. Losing each other and trying to find each other in the mountains. But those are the things that are more fun to talk about. If it went perfect, it wouldn't be that much fun. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate you, Alex. Look up Seek Up Eric Way on YouTube. Right on. I'm the guy that watches old lives and old videos. I watch old Dave Matthews videos, not just Dave, but I just love music and I miss videos. I miss videos. I guess I grew up on MTV, but the videos make the songs sometimes, and the songs make the videos, and I think we're missing out on a lot. I think we'll get back to that eventually. Yeah, the blinking thing. I'm sorry. It's probably annoying everybody. That's your dream to go. I'm telling you, it was amazing. Camp at the campsite. It's right there too. That's the cool thing. Oh, well, I say that, but it was crazy because the gorge, it was like, I don't know, 10 miles of a slow decline down to the Columbia River. And it starts getting really, really steep there at the end. And since it's 60-degree water year round, it was 100 degrees outside. So it created this super wind because of the contrast of temperature. And the first night we got there, we saw all the trees at the campsite were all bent. They were all bent in toward the river. We're like, well, that's weird. But they're bent, but they were still coming up. I'm like, and after that first night, we understood why. And we had a tent that was made for being like on mountains. So we had these big, nice stakes and stuff. When I got up, ours was the only tent that was standing out of like 60, because at night the wind just piles through there, I guess. And so it's very interesting. And what was so cool about the gorge was the sun set behind the stage, the Big Dipper set behind the stage, and then the full moon set behind the stage as he was playing. It was just, I didn't need to be drunk or stoned or anything that night. It was just so awesome. He actually came out, and a song that I really liked, which is funny, I don't really listen to it as much anymore, but now I'm gonna fit I'll Back You Up. He played I'll Back You Up, which he doesn't play that song in concerts. So I remember looking at my buddy like, he's playing the song, because we both wanted to hear it. Me and my buddy that went, we always go, what's the 5 songs you want to hear? And this concert, he played all 5 of mine in the first like 7 or 8 songs. I kept looking at him like, did he know my playlist? What the hell? And they were obscure songs too. I was really surprised. And he played Warehouse. Anyway, but he played I'll Back You Up. He actually went to the front of the stage, played it with just his guitar, solo singing, spotlight on him. He sat on the end of the stage and played. I was just like, what this is insane. It was so awesome. And then the band kicks in the middle, and then it was great. Was Victor Wooten there? No, he wasn't in that one. He was in, I think it was the next year I saw him, Victor Wooten. And that's another thing, Dave, he brought in, I've seen OAR. OAR was probably the best opener other than Victor Wooten. Victor didn't play. There's one year too. Bella Fleck was just playing with them that year. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, and Victor Wooten came on stage with him. I think in one show I've seen. He didn't open. That's right. He went on stage. Yeah, you're right. That's one of my goals is to have I'm gonna have a guitar channel, and it shows people how to play Dave Matthews and all the other a bunch of stuff. So that's one of my. I mean, that's kind of why I started this, is so I could eventually do that and do card breaks. But anymore, I just want to buy card breaks. I don't know if I want to do all that work. You start realizing how much work it is. Look up and subscribe to Chester Pot 5. Oh, shit. I like the name, but just the name itself. I was the biggest Goonies fan. Such a dork. Goonies for life. What do they always say? Goonies never die. Goonies never die. Or Goonies. I forget what they said. Crap. Chester Copper Pot 5. I love good YouTube names. That's awesome. I'll look that up for sure. I love obscure, weird. I've got so many recorded Dave. Every show I've been to, I've got it recorded. My buddy recorded them, burned them for me. I'm that dork. Go to a concert and then listen to the concert over and over again. A couple of them were not very good. And it's funny because you watch Dave Matthews long enough, there's some of the concerts you go to, you're like, man, the band wasn't feeling it that night. They played like 2 hours, and the encore was. There's been some encores I went to that were just unreal, like better than the concert. That's another thing I liked about Dave. He'd always have a great encore. Smart. Keep people around. Keep people in their seats. I always thought it was weird when people go to the concerts and sit down. Like, everybody's standing because we like to dance and just move and have a good time and sing. That's what I like about Dave Matthews concerts. Everybody's dancing and singing. Like, it's kind of like Grateful Dead shows, they're just enjoying the music. And gosh, I want to get back to it. God, it's been a while. Nothing like a concert. Nothing like going. And I used to love going to sports games and stuff, but can't beat a concert. Sports games are. Yeah, when you go to a concert you like, you always win. If you go to a game, you may not win, and it may be really annoying. Okay, you got me beat on that one. Holy crap! I get it. That's funny. It's sad as I went to Charlottesville a couple of years ago, and I was mad at my uncle. I'm like, I want to go to where he used to play all the time. And he's like, we don't have time. I'm like, I want to go there. It's like the Mecca to me, And what was cool about Dave was for like the first 5 years when he got popular, he would still go back to Charlottesville and play because it's like he's paying homage to them, make sure, because they got him going, and that's where they all started. If I remember right, wasn't Dave, I've read the book. He was a bartender, and he was the only musician that really wasn't a musician that was already established. Everybody else was established, and they were all his customers at the bar. And he got the band together, called it his own name, and then and I think he's got such a unique way of playing. It must be from being in South Africa for so long. But yeah, I'm a dork about that. I guess it's good to know there's some other dorks, Dave Matthews dorks. Where's Kent when you need him to make fun of me? Yeah, Miller's. Yeah, yep. That's where I want to go. Miller's. I want to get there. My uncle's like, I'm like, oh, because I wasn't driving, and we were going to a couple wineries. I was like, I'll get back there again. I just hadn't got back there. Freaking frustrating. When I started my business, it's funny when it's all those things you tell yourself why you're going to do something. Like, I'm going to start my business so I'll have more free time. Wrong. I'll be able to go on vacation more. Wrong. crap. But I'm glad I did it. But I was misinformed on what I really thought it was going to be. But it's so much better to be in control of what you're doing. Kind of like what you know, Tommy. I mean, I'm sure you miss your old job because that consistency, steadiness, it's like less stress to think about. It's just, you go to work, you don't have to think about it. You've done it for so long, you get your money, you don't have to think about it. When you have to think about getting your money, you have to think about your work, it takes more energy. But it's mine and it's my control. I get to determine when, and I feel like I work harder now because I have to. So it is what it is. Props to you having a family and then taking that step. And sometimes you just got to do it, or else we're just gonna be all stuck in that same place. And f that, man. I mean, it's like you were saying earlier. I've learned that a long time ago. You start realizing that you know the government has all the loans. You can't be bankrupt and get rid of that loan. You can't die with that loan. It goes to your family, and then they're the ones having the colleges, and they make you go to. It's like, this isn't for me. I learned that real quick. I remember in 1997, I worked at Applebee's. So long ago, God, and it was before Applebee's at that time was still like pretty new. Most people were still going to Golden Corral in Ponderosa, where I was from in Missouri. And I remember one Friday night I made $100 in 1997. I'm like, why am I going to college? This doesn't make any sense. I can make $100 in cash tonight. No, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then I didn't stop. I love learning, but then I was like, I can learn whatever the hell I want. That's when I started playing guitar and started reading a lot. I love reading. Yeah. Yeah. What's funny is what I miss about my bartending job was talking to people. Conversation. And that's why I think I enjoy the YouTube and talking. And I miss that. It made time go fast because I had so many regulars that I was just meeting with my friends at work and they were giving me big tips. It's pretty sweet. We had to deal with all that, And I don't drink, but man, dealing with sober people, the drinkers were easy to deal with. You got them a drink, they're happy. They know what they want. Sober people, they don't know what makes them happy. They don't know. They want you to make them happy. It's like, I can't make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. I'm giving you everything I can do. I don't know what else to tell you. And that was hard, dealing with sober people. Good Lord. But it was after a while, you just start laughing. You didn't get mad about it. You just laughed because it was so ridiculous. And once you got to where you could you just laugh about it, it wasn't as big a deal. But, at first when you take it to heart, you're like, but they're just trying to mess with your head because it is what it is. Every job's like that somewhat. You have that one douchebag. I remember I had this one manager who would always try to tell me stuff, and I'm like, no, you're wrong. Oh, you're wrong. You want to go over it, or you just want to say and stop talking? I'm like, because he was younger than me, and then since he became a manager, then he started talking to me different. I'm like, I'm kind of in a different place. When you were a bartender, it was almost like you were a contractored out. I'm like, hey, I follow your rules. Other than that, you can't tell me how to do my stuff. This is kind of my own thing. I'm not stealing from you. Until there's a real problem, don't talk to me. Well, I've been going long enough. There's probably people. I've only got like 6 in here. Talking about Dave Matthews kind of drives people away, huh, Tommy? I guess that's why Tommy doesn't talk about Dave Matthews. It is what it is. Yeah, my uncle lives out in Odenton, Maryland. I can't wait to be able to get out there again and hopefully meet up with some people if it's possible, kind of deal. And it'd be fun to just hang out for an afternoon and chit chat for a minute. And I like the East Coast, but I love Missouri. I've been all over the world. And I still think Southern Missouri, Northern Arkansas, the Smoky Mountain area, it's probably prettier than here. But also, I don't know if I'd want to live there because it's a little bit too much mountainous. But here, it's like the perfect amount of mountains, beautiful rivers, just so many great lakes, and it's not too populated. And the cost of living is super cheap. And that's one thing I learned real quick with daily refinement. It made me realize, like, he was talking about how much he had to pay for a storage unit, how long it took to drive to Goodwill, even though it's only 10 miles, it took him an hour to get there and things like that. And it's just like made you realize, like, wait, I'm playing in the same playing field as them, but my cost of living is so much cheaper. I got a leg up on these guys. I'm selling the same products for the same price, but I don't have to pay so much. Basically, you know, the store is kind of where you live. And so if your store costs less to live here than someone else, you got an advantage. And so I realized that, man, living here is a big advantage. And like, that's why lawn mowing's great here, because it's so cheap. Most houses are right around 100,000, 150 for a decent, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath brick house is probably 150, 175. Any other place it'd be 300. And so you got a lot of people that have nice houses with big yards, and they can afford to hire me as mow. And so I've got plenty. I have to turn. I haven't picked up a yard in so long because I don't need to. I just, people come up to me and I wait for, the best way to pick up a yard is someone that's living right by a yard you're already doing, because that's the only way you can really make money is you hit two at the same time while you have your equipment out. It saves you half the time I drive them to the next place. And so you just tend to look for those places only. And then I have a real estate agent I deal with, and I've got, I don't know, 27, 30 yards just with him. And he just adds more and more as we go. So, yeah, it's just like when I bartend, and you want to have regulars. And if you have one guy paying you for 27 yards, you only deal with one person instead of 27. That's whenever mowing became, and that one guy's going to pay you because he's always got money. Because, that's one thing that was really hard to transition from bartending to this was now you're digging into people's like monthly income. And so whenever the credit cards come calling, you're the first person to go that doesn't get paid. And so there's been a lot of people not paying me. And what can you do? You know where they live. That's about it. So, well, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate it. I need to list some stuff. I've sold so much good stuff on eBay. My listings are down. I've got like 20 Wii remotes to sell. That sell so fast. I sold a Wii remote today for $40. I got it in an auction lot. It was one of those auction lots. He had like 5 consoles, all different things, 64, a GameCube, an Xbox, which I just was like, I'll just throw that in my booth. And a couple other things, but he had some controllers. One of them was the Toad controller from Mario Kart. It's cool. I'll get it real quick. It's one I'd never really seen, like that Zelda one I had, but it's Toad. It's got the red. It's pretty cool. And the cover is not that same plastic. It's kind of a white plastic. It's got blue on the back, like a yellow trigger, and it's got even the red end. And so I knew, I'm like, a collector, they're going to want that. And it's in good shape. And the other day I sent out I had it for $39.95. It's one of those things I should have learned from Commonwealth Picker. Don't do offers if you could help it. If you'd comp it right and you know the price you want, just kind of let it sit there. And it was $39.95 I had it for, because I saw it going for like 30 to 35 all the time. And I don't think some of them didn't even have this. So I was like, that adds a little bit, the plastic sleeve. And I sent out an offer like a month ago, $34.95, $5 off. And someone sent me back a counter offer, 32. And I'm like, why not? 32 helps pay for that lot. Almost pays for a third of that lot. One remote out of that thing. And there's all kinds of other stuff in there. There's a couple of N64 remotes and stuff, controllers. And I accepted it, and then he had to cancel it real quick because he goes, oh, I'm sorry, you waited too long. So I waited like 6 hours to respond because I didn't want to. And then I was like, yeah, might as well, whatever. It's just money coming in. And he goes, I'm sorry, I have to cancel that. I got it from somewhere else. I'm like, that's fine. I guarantee I get more money out of it. And so I just, put it back up, and it sold for $39.95 today. It was a good example of like, just let it sit there, especially a collector's item that someone's just going to come by and go, ooh, and that's like one advantage I have in baseball cards and sports cards. The people that sell sports cards most of the time grew up on eBay. They've been selling on eBay for a long time. And so anybody that knows that they still run auctions. Almost all their stuff, they run auctions. So I see you go on and look on listed on sports cards, almost all of them in auction. I put a buy it now. People don't want to wait on an auction anymore. They see something they want it now. They may believe they're never going to get it, or it's going to go higher than they want. They don't even know, they don't comp things. So they see it for the price they want, they buy it. And so I'm one of the only guys in baseball cards and sports cards that's buy it now. And so I think I get a lot more sales because of that. People don't want to wait for the auctions, and they're getting like 60, 70%, which actually makes me mad, because I think that's why it's just like the repricer on Amazon. It just all does is kill the other resellers by just going lower, 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 lower. It's better for the buyers, but when you're getting 60 to 70% on an auction, it's hard to sell something for the price it should be going for, because you see all these auctions. It says that's what it's going for, But anyway, and of course, I sell my cards internationally, so that helps too, because I don't think a lot of those guys sell internationally. But yeah, just a couple of things I like to do. Well, since no one's in the chat really, and I'm just talking to the computer right now, I should probably do something. But thanks for everybody joining and giving me something to talk about. Like I said, I just miss talking to people, my regulars, and almost feel like you guys are my regulars in a way, people that I want to talk to about things. When are you guys, Tommy and Tracy, when are you going live again? I haven't seen you guys go live. I know it's hard, especially coordinate with someone else, but is there a certain night? Is it Sunday nights? I think you guys always do it, but I always enjoy you guys' live, and I appreciate you guys not focusing only on reselling, because I think that's why we do the lives, is to kind of take a break from reselling, but talk about it every once in a while, but just chit-chatting and shooting the shit and saying where the F we want. And I like how you guys can make fun of each other and not get butthurt over it. And I think that's why I love comics. That's why I love like Joe Rogan. I love comics, because they say what they freaking want, and they might 80% mean it, but they don't totally mean everything. But why can't we joke anymore? I hope to God that we can get back to not being so effing serious about everything. And that's what I think I like about the YouTube community, is we're not sitting there feeling like we have to be politically correct about every frickin' thing. I hate it. Yeah, Sunday. Cool. Thursday and Sunday. Cool. Yeah, I knew I always catch you on Sunday. I'm usually working really late on Thursday. That's probably why. I work really late, and then I'll go run, and I can't people tell me they can't sleep. I'm like, you need to work out every time. Work out. You won't be able to help but go to sleep. And what's funny is we don't really need to work out that much. 30 minutes of walking is all anybody really needs, unless you eat McDonald's 3 times a day. That's what I was telling someone the other day. Everybody always thinks they always beat themselves down. Oh, I eat so bad and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you can eat bad. You can eat a pizza every day, but you have to eat 2 good meals every day. You just don't eat 3 bad meals. You can't do that. Eat 2 good ones, but I don't eat 2 meals. Eat 1 good one and have one where you splurge a little. And I was telling my uncle this the other day, I'm like, the problem, hamburgers get a bad rap, cheeseburgers and fries, but pizza, there isn't pizza's. There's nothing in pizza that has anything of value. It's probably cheese is the best thing, and cheese is not really that good for you. So you think that pizza would get a worse rap than cheeseburgers or fries, but they don't. But I've always wondered, like, pizza should be a side dish. It shouldn't be like the main meal. It should just be like you get one piece, and then you have your other thing, and then there's the pizza. But after going to Rome, I can't eat pizza here. There's just absolutely no way. There's just no way. I mean, they ruined it for me. It's like gelato. After you have real gelato in Italy, you can't you can't really enjoy ice cream the same. It's not this. I could eat 10 bowls of gelato and never feel bad. It didn't make you feel bad. It was like frozen fruit juice. It was so freaking amazing, real rich and creamy. And the pizza, most of Italian, in Rome and everywhere in Italy, they rarely opened up for the day. And you could see them though at like 10 o'clock in the morning. They'd be rolling the dough and letting it rise. And you could see it sitting on this big stone thing, sitting there rising all day. You see them in all these pizza places, and they were making their crust. And they had these big, huge wood fire grills and making them. And so, since I love wine, I love the oaky. Any oaky wine was my favorite, especially what was the one? Malbec. I loved Malbec. That was out of South America, Brazil, Argentina. Anyway, and so that oaky flavor, and then you get this pizza that had an oaky flavor into the crust. Oh, I mean, it was like 10 times better than any pizza I've ever had here. And then the sauce was one thing was cool about you go walking in Italy back through the back alleys and stuff, just kind of looking, and you go back behind the restaurants and you see the owner and you'd see the head chef out there in the back, and there'd be farmers bringing up their stuff, and they'd be sitting there going like, I want that. No, that's no, but I want that and that and that, how much? And it was like, oh, why can't we do that here? And that's why the pizza, the sauce on those pizzas, so good. I don't know what they did. And they didn't put a ton of cheese on it, but it was good cheese. And I remember one place they called it sausage, but it was like red. It was different than our sausage. And they had a lot of, what do you call it? Biscotti? It's that thin shaved ham stuff. They had that a lot. They didn't have pepperoni in Rome. That was the American thing. And they didn't put a lot of meat on there, but you could get some of this meat. But they'd always most of the time, they put spinach on top. Man, that, but I miss that. Rome was cool. Sicily was pretty cool too, but Rome was a big surprise, Yeah, that cheese was something different. It was something different about it. It's probably because we pasteurize our milk, and then we're making the cheese with the pasteurized milk, and so it's just not as good. It was creamier or something. They didn't have to put as much cheese on it. It was almost just sprinkled on. It wasn't a covering of cheese. It's just it's one of the few times I remember my uncle's like, "Can I have a piece?" I'm like, "No, man. You could have ordered another pizza. You're not eating any of this pizza. I'm in frickin' Rome, man. You already ate your meal. Eat something else. Stay away from my pizza." So good, especially with a good oaky wine. Oh, I remember our last night in Rome. We were sitting in this little cafe. Everything's outside. There was like 2 or 3 seats inside, and there was 15 to 20 outside, which I think that's how America's going to be soon because of everything, which it should be. Patios are awesome, and it rained that night, but it wasn't raining at the time. And if you've ever been to Rome, it's all cobblestone. It's like the East Coast, like Annapolis. It's all bricks and cobblestone everywhere. And it was like a painting. Everything was mirroring. And so there was lights everywhere because it was shining off of the bricks, and the bricks had the curves on everything. It was just like some coolest painting I've ever seen. it was just an amazing night. And yeah, it was just, and, it's one of those things you're in that mood and you're seeing that because you're in such a good place because you're not, no stress. You're just trying to enjoy the moment, which is hard to do when you work like what we do. It's hard to be in the moment. You're doing your things for your future. So you're almost in the future instead of being in the moment kind of deal. You know what I mean? But oh man, I like to get back to Rome. My friend, that sucks. Is like I said earlier, I started my businesses to be able to take more vacations, and my friends lived in Naples for 5 or 6 years now. He's getting ready to leave because his tour is over because he's high up. He works for like a 4-star general. He makes probably 250,000 a year at least, and so they live in like, and when you're a government worker and you live over there, you got like a $2,500 a month flat. They pimp it up pretty good. And he's like, yeah, just come on over anytime you want. You can stay for a couple months. And I can't even get there. It's just like, and I want to go to Naples pretty bad, because I've seen Rome and I want to go to the Naples part, that side. I can't even get there. And he's going to be leaving before I can. It's frustrating, but that's kind of life, right? Hey, T, making me hungry. Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah. It's not even, I mean, every once in a while, I'll go to a fine dining Italian every once in a while, and it's close. It's close. They're making their own pasta and stuff, but it's still not. The ingredients they're making their own pasta with isn't the same ingredients over there. I mean, even talk about like the gluten is different there. They use the old school, like the gluten that was the first before we modified it. When we modified it, it changed everything, and so they don't use that same kind of stuff. And so even if you go to fine dining here, they're still using some of the same ingredients, even though they're doing the same techniques. It doesn't taste the same. And plus, they're getting it from the farmers. It's like everywhere you go, you're getting organic, farm fresh stuff that was made for this day. It wasn't frozen. It's just, and it was not expensive. And another thing I liked about Rome was every place, every restaurant, like I said, 75 to 80% of their seating was outside. They had someone out front, everybody that pull you in. And it was always a guy. Hey, you want to come in? Check out the menu and this and that. And what you found is most of the time it was the owner. The owners were the ones out there. And I thought how cool that was. The best experience I had was talking to the owner and him telling us he gave us a bottle of wine for 25 bucks that was like he knew the bottler and it was the best bottle of wine I've ever had. And it was one of the best meals I had, and it was grilled chicken. It was just grilled chicken, and it was amazing. We had black truffles. He's like, "That's our special now. You never tried black truffles? You need to try some black truffles." I had it. I was like, "Oh my god!" Stuff like that. You just can't get that here, And um, yeah, and for a long time, I wanted to own my restaurant for these reasons. But when you work in a restaurant, you realize, holy crap, you're better off being uniquely Tracy and like having a show about showing that than having a restaurant. Like, dude, you're married to that restaurant. If you own a restaurant, you're screwed. Thanks for joining, T. I appreciate you. You're always so nice in all the chats. I believe it. Great seafood too. Oh, because right there on the Mediterranean. Uh, Rome, Greece. I was disappointed with Greece. I thought it'd be better. It was kind of a, but of course you go to Athens and they're like, yeah. I'm like, I looked out. I'm like, every house looked the same. It kind of looked like, how you imagine like Iraq looking. Like every house was the same. It was almost all apartments. I'm like, I remember noticing it, and then the guide goes, "Yeah, you're going to notice that all the houses look the same. It's because the Americans came in and basically destroyed Athens during World War II, and so when they built it back, they built it all the same. And we're so poor, we haven't changed much." I'm like, oh, that explains it. And the food wasn't. The beer was great. They had some good freaking beer, but and the pastries and stuff like that were good. The desserts, but the normal food wasn't. They were known for like meat and croissants and stuff. It was okay, but it made me feel like crap. Wasn't anything like Italy. Yeah, if you go to the islands, different. I was in Crete too. Yeah, Crete was awesome. We went on a cruise, and I remember I'd be running on the treadmill, and you see Greek islands go by while you're running, and it's just like it's just mind blowing, you know. And that was one thing I always thought, like, cruise. Who would do a cruise? That sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And my uncle's like, I got a cruise. And I'm like, I'm not going on no cruise. And he goes, it's free. I'm like, I'm going on a cruise. And it was awesome. Honestly, I'll do it again because it was one of the few times that it was everything was taken care of. I didn't have to stress about anything. Freaking the buffets they had sushi on their buffet, just and good food, prime rib bar, and it was amazing. I put on 10 pounds on that, but hey, Athens was yeah, it was. Well, I thought was really good. The thing I always remember about Athens was it was kind of like Rome. You know, they had a street. No one followed the lines. It was like you just get there if you get there, and it was crazy because we're on this huge bus, and there was, if you go to Europe, they use every mode of vehicle everywhere, and so this bus is driving, and motorcycles are darting in front of it. I don't know how they're missing, and you could tell the bus driver's just so used to it. He didn't even flinch. It was just cars going in and out. I almost couldn't watch. I was like, oh my god, it was like I was in Mario Kart. It was crazy, and since there was no lines, it was just. And then you see like people parking. They were parking each other in. It's like, how are they ever going to get their car out? They were like 5 deep in. Like, it was intense. I can't imagine living in Athens, but seeing the Pantheon, the Parthenon was pretty amazing, and that's why we went. Um, that was pretty. It's just so huge. Yeah, I would love to see Capri in Italy because it has all that white stucco right there on the ocean, with the blue ocean beside it. Oh, those paintings! I got a great painting. I got a couple great paintings. I went there at the end of the year, and so the summer was almost over. And so the guys selling paintings in Rome were just trying to get rid of them, try to make enough money so they could buy their supplies so they could make paintings for the next year, during the real busy time of uh, May, June, July. And we were there in September. And I bought two paintings rolled up for 80 euro. I kept talking him down. He goes, dude, that's how much I paid for it. I'm giving you free time basically out of it. I was like, okay, you're not going any lower. And I framed them both, and the frame for each one of them cost like 100. I've spent like 120 on the frames when I got home. So I spent $240 on the frames and 80. Well, it figured out to be like 90 to $100 for the paintings after you translation between money. But those things are freaking priceless now. And both of them have St. Peter's Basilica from the Vatican in the background, and he was a master. And I'm a painter. I've got so many paintings in my house now. I bought one that I don't know. I love paintings. Athens flea market. I wish I could have been there. I didn't get to go there. We only had you get 3 or 4 hours. That's the one thing bad about those cruises is sometimes you go to them, you're like, now you want to stay longer, but you just can't. But it's kind of easier too. But hey, Greg, how's it going, man? Greek wine, yeah, I didn't get to have any. When I was there, I just had beer. It was a small sample size. I can't say that Greece was terrible or anything because it was a small sample. But I was way more impressed with Rome. I got to get off here. Good God, stop talking to me, Tracy. Appreciate y'all for joining, and um, uh, I appreciate our community. That really, like I said earlier, it's not just that like we give each other bolos, but we keep each other from making those dumb mistakes because that's how a business gets ruined is mistakes, not like because you didn't work hard. It's from those mistakes you can't recover from. You know what I mean? And so that's been very helpful with our community. And it's nice talking about things I like, traveling and Dave Matthews Band. But grind on, friends. I appreciate y'all.